YouTube, it is the day of the new pack. We are in game 1 of the top 16, and the big question for today is how do we defeat Lunalight? If they are able to summon the Liger Dancer, do you automatically lose? I want to use her. You lose? Yes, you do. Most people are not going to have an out to this. If you are playing Mitsurugi, which I'm not sure if Mitchell is playing that, maybe we could search for the Wuso to tribute over it, but then they likely have a second one. So it's going to be a big point of contention for today on specifically how do we beat Lunalight. Now, the great thing for us is this is not as good as it was in the TCG because they don't have Baguska, but it's still maybe better in Macedol than TCG because we don't have a side deck, and the side deck is the main way to beat this deck. So with no side, this would theoretically possibly be one of the best decks in Macedol. Let's find out by watching as long as you can. That greatly supports the event. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's start this off with normal Gursu. Okay. I mean, what did I say? It's a first turn kill. They're not reducing the life at 0, but they're setting up like 8 to 10 disruption. It's multi-layered. It's in the graveyard. It's on the back row. It's on the field. Like, what are you going to do? We're going to start off with a Lunalight Fusion right away. Now, Lunalight Fusion can only use the deck or extra deck if the opponent controls a monster summoned from the extra deck, which they don't, but there's still a possibility. Thus, the Ash negates. You freaking what, mate? Negate. Now from here, we're going to Black Sheep, search our deck for a Polymerization. Let's normal the Chick. Chick's going to send a Gold Leo. Let's now Polymerize. Fusing up with the Martin and Chick to go into a Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer on summon will be searching. We have the Martin also triggering a search for the Masquerade. Masquerade will send the Lighthound to then summon a monster from the deck. As we add back the Polymerization from Engrave, the Perfume will reborn from the grave Gold Leo. First, we're going to Masquerade. Masquerade, send from the deck the Lighthound. Lighthound, summon for the deck a Gold Leo, so now we're not going to Perfume Reborn it. Gold Leo's going to grab an Emerald Bird, then discard it to trigger the effect to reborn a monster in grave. The Chick is now back in the field. We passed on the Bestial. We're going to send from the deck a Lunalight Wolf. We're going to trigger. This may get banished. And it does. Now, why is this a good banish? This card could more than once per turn fuse with the graveyard. You're going to fuse once, and then you're going to return it back to the hand with the Martin or the Fusion, and then activate it again to continually get fusing. Banish. Now, with Polymerization, can we still summon the Liger Dancer? Of course we can. Martin's going to return back the Gold Leo. Let's now seize into the King Tiger. Tiger King's going to be grabbing the Tenki. Tenki's going to further search our deck for a Lunalight Tiger. Tiger King is going to detach to, what is it doing? I forgot what it does. That doesn't do anything. It just negates the Juriswarm. We have the Tiger going to reborn from Engrave. The Chick is negated though. We're going to use the Perfume Dancer, return the Tiger back to replay it again to reborn another monster from Engrave. And now we're going to Polymerize. Polymerize, fuse it up into the Perfume Dancer. That will trigger the Black Sheep. It will trigger the Masquerade. Masquerade's going to add the Polymerization back. The Black Sheep's going to add the Chick and Graveyard back. And a big problem with this, we're not adding the Chick back, which I think we kind of maybe messed up with the Perfume Dancer where the Chick was continually negated. Because the Chick was negated, it never gained the effect of becoming a Leo Dancer. Had it became a Leo Dancer on the field, we could have used Polymerization to go into the Liger. But because Tiger kept on negating it, we didn't have that playing. But we should at least be able to summon one Liger. Little Knight's going to banish away the Juriswarm. And now, here's our Terramare! What? You timed out? How? This was resolved and end the turn. That was it. Fuse with the graveyard, and then end the turn. Now, it is important to note, you do not need this card to summon 2 Ligers. It's not needed. It's very good. It's a great option to do so, but you can, through other plays, still get to 2 Liger and, of course, at least summon 1. And so the way with polymerization is the chick has to not be negated. A good way is to return it back, resummon it through the fusion so it's not negated. Then it becomes a Leo Dancer, as I said. You fuse with the field, and then the Masquerade will fuse again with the graveyard, with the Leo Tiger being in the grave. That would be double Liger. But just by banishing this, it really messed things up. 2-0 victory, unfortunately. Terramare, it's all good, my friend. I do think Lunalight is actually a complicated deck. It really is. There's a lot of different pathways of what to do. Fool loss. And now we're going to just play under it, right? We're still going to be committing to the extra deck. We're going to special summon the Take Tomborg. Does not drop a second Fool loss. But when we activate the summon for the deck, we'll drop the second one. We're not going to we are imperming it. Really? What Slayton's trying to do is go into an Isolt. If you would just Fool loss, draw 2, they would then have to give you another 2 to go into the Isolt, and then you would imperm it. Still going into Isolt. Pot of Greed, draw 2. Are you out of your mind? Isolt is going to be adding a Doug Charger. Again, we're going to give them draw 2. Is this a first turn kill? What are you doing? Argostar. Maybe we could deck them out. If we could special summon from the deck or extra deck 15 times, they go to 0. What are our forms of disruption? Widow Anchor's not activatable unless we control no monsters in the main zone. I'm not sure if we have a way to equip with the Charles to then trigger the effect to pop a card. Otherwise, we would just have Little Knight. And I guess when your opponent activates a card or effect, you could special summon this card. If you have a banished Argostar monster, you could then return 1 card in the field back to the hand, which we do have. So that would be a form of disruption. I think we just have 2. The Charles cannot be destroyed by battle. The Charles also can not be destroyed by card effects. So this is going to be difficult to deal with. It's kind of like a Towers. But I believe it's still targetable. We have Druid Swarm targeting the Makonko to send to the grave. Let's Golem, and now we're going to return the Golem on the activation to search the deck. We're going to chain Little Knight to banish itself plus the Charles. We're going to use Little Knight to chain banish itself plus the Little Knight, so the Charles will remain on the field. Charles is safe. The Golem's going to get returned back to the hand. And now we're at 0 disruption. That's it. Nothing left. Magnum Hut banished the Rose, and to be fair, we were under the effect of double Fool loss, and then we got hit by a Droll Knockbird. Magnum Hunt's gonna be searching. Oh, there goes our Charles. We still have the trap blocking us from using the Widow Anchor. Let's summon the Tristaros. Let's go into the Excel Synchro Stardust, and let's clean up this duel, right? Well, now it's activatable. By putting the Slayer Edo into the back row, the Widow Anchor can now attempt to negate a monster on the field. Now, by trying to negate the Excel Synchro Stardust, we could summon from the deck, chaining to them activating, going into our Crystron level 7 Synchro. Negate and take control, mate. Let's now, with the effect of the Alesk, add back the Sulfaneer. Sulfaneer, discard Smiger, summon itself, pop itself, summon from the deck. Sulfaneer, send a card from the deck. Let's banish the Inclusion to reborn a monster from Engrave. Let's turn both into the Cyber Dragon Nova. Further going into the Infinity. Infinity, suck up the Stardust. 8,800 damage on the field, and just like that, lethal damage. Double Fua into a Droll. That's how we won. Before we commit to monsters in the main zone, we have to activate our Skystriker cards now. Rose will trigger to special summon itself onto the field. Now, the Skystriker 0 cannot summon Rose from the hand. So if you end up drawing the Rose, you have to get her into the grave to even make this activatable. 0 is here. Tribute to summon from the grave and deck. We're going to turn both. Oh my gosh. It's an Isold engine. That's why you're playing this? That's it? Summon 2 warriors? Are you shiting me? So our forms of disruption are, we can banish in response to an activation of anything, a monster. We can negate a spell and trap card. We can negate a spell, and it's not going to be our option to do so. The first spell that resolves will be negated by the Angelic Ring. It's about triple disruption. Triple. Yep. Clockwork Knight with the Smiger is going to banish to now search the deck. We're not chaining Little Knight to banish away the Clockwork. We have Inclusion. First, going to use Call of the Grave to force out the negate of the Angelic Ring. Now, let's read the Angelic Ring. Negate the effect of the first spell card or effect that resolves. If you activate the Inclusion and it has an effect on activation, it would be able to negate it, but otherwise the continuous effect of still being face up, it would not be negated, it would stay on the field. So we do want to force out the negate of the called by, and now we Inclusion, but the Charles can negate the Inclusion. By negating the activation of the Inclusion is now going to the graveyard to get the other effect. The other effect of being able to reborn a Crystron from Engrave. Now, we still have Little Knight. Little Knight is our final form of disruption. He had to draw 2. Senjin in the back row, reborn, searching for the Golem. Golem is going to summon, search the deck for the Wedju Temple. Wedju Temple, putting a body from the hand and from the deck, going to the Doom Dragon. We're going to push the Charles back. We're going to chain the Little Knight to chain banish away the Doom Dragon. Slayton is thwarted again. We're down to 0 disruption. Slayton got double fluid into a droll, and then the next game got drolled. Back-to-back droll. And I guess if you get drolled, we're not able to set up our turn 1 auto win play. Let's speed this up. Fast forward. Yeah. Star, Dust, Synchro is here. Reborn the Tristaros into the Baron DeFleur. Let's lethal this up. Pop, Reborn, further go into the Nova. Nova into the Infinity. Infinity suck up the Little Knights. Main phase 1, 8,300 damage. Hornet Drones, negate the token mates. Just like that. And previously, the token says that it cannot be tributed, so a Nibiru play earlier into the tournament today was not able to tribute off the token. Lethal damage with the Clockwork. Damn. Gold Leo on summons going to be searching for a Lunalight Wolf, discarding the Hound. Hound will trigger to summon for the deck. Do we droll? We're going to Fool Loss. Within this window, if they Ash or Finger the Fool Loss, we could chain the Droll Knockbird. Nope. It goes through. There we go. We're making sure both are activatable in the same window. Ooh, Solemn Strike. Chick is going to send the Leo Dancer and become a Leo Dancer on the field. We're going to grab a Polymerization. Let's Leo trigger to add back the Black Sheep to our hand. Let's Tanky searching for the Martin. Let's Polymerize it up. With the Martin being sent to the grave by card effect, it will trigger to search for the Masquerade. As we further search our deck for the Perfume. Are we going to imperm this? Chick's going to add back the Polymerization. We're going to imperm the Perfume. Perfume can reborn from the graveyard and search our deck for any monster by discarding. So no search, no reborn. And it stops the dual effect. Its other effect was to return a face-up card back to our hand to then special summon a Lunalight onto the field. Very good. So I'd say negating Gold Leo or negating the Perfume Dancer, good options with your Veil or Impermanence. They both have duo effects. The Tiger is here. Tiger is going to be able to reborn a monster from Engrave. The Martin or the Fusion can return it back. Now, a big question is this a cost to return it back? Do we still get to recycle back the Lunalight Tiger? Let's read that. Target a Lunalight card, return it, then you can special summon. It's a part of the effect, so it will not be able to return it back. Chick's going to send a Gold Leo from the deck to the graveyard as we now go into Dugaris. Dugaris can reborn a monster from Engrave, or we could draw 2, then discard. Discarding the Hound, Martin's going to return back the Tiger. We now have the Lunalight Wolf, which will be summoning our first Liger. Liger Dancer is here, completely unaffected by everything. As we now have Little Knight. Unaffected, destroy all special summon monsters, and can attack twice. Let's banish away their impermanence, sure. Now, against a trap deck, we have the Hound. Hound states that when a spell trap card or effect is activated on the field, you can banish this card and one Lunalight Fusion from the graveyard negate the activation. Now, we don't have a Lunalight Fusion in the grave at the moment, so that will not be working, but the Liger Dancer could get one into the grave if there's a special summon monster on the field to destroy. We also have the Little Knights, destroy special summon, negate a special summon, Nibiru the field, about 5 disruption. Diplos activating a send up the Razzia from the deck to the grave. To battle we go. We're going to destroy it so it could reborn, right? Thought it had a reborn effect when destroyed. If this card's destroyed, you could... Oh, You have to have a trap in your graveyard to banish. Well, we do have a trap in the graveyard. We have impermanence, right? Banish impermanence. Oh wait, the Little Knight banished impermanence. So by banishing the impermanence, it turned off our play, which we were supposed to make to summon Thrizia on the freaking field. Well done. Draw phase skipped. We're going to use the effect to attempt to return back the special summon, since we are going to negate and destroy that. Let's get that out of here. Now you got a fusion in the grave. By getting a fusion in the grave, the Lighthound will be able to negate the activation of a card. Now, let's read how this works. You can only activate one domain per turn. If you negate the activation, not the effect which the Hound negates the activation, another copy of domain will be activatable. Let's domain. We're going to impulse, which negates the effect. So by impulsing, it ensures another copy would not be activatable. Hound would allow another copy. Solemn Judgment, no. Negate, we're at 1475 mate, which means this is not activatable. We have this set, 1500 life. This is a dead card now. What the? Domain, send for the deck, come forth, Kentragina. Kentragina is going to be activating to copy the effect of Domain. Little Knight is going to banish away the Kentragina and the Little Knight. Now, this messes things up now, doesn't it? Because to summon the Rex term, it requires a Dinomorphia fusion. And that would be the fusion we would use. So we're going to be using the hand and deck to summon another Kentragina when we wanted a Rex term. Now we have Tiger. Tiger is going to be reborning back the Gold Leo. Gold Leo is going to be negated, so we should not have activated that. Double attack. Attack number one. Kentragina when sent to the grave, reborn back the Diplos. Diplos send a trap from the deck to the grave. By destroying the Diplos, it will... Ooh, we're going to destroy it by card effect. Non-target wipe the field. Diplos, when destroyed, banish the Solemn Judgment, reborn back onto the field of Thrizia. Thrizia is going to set a trap from the deck activatable during the next turn. Take it out. Thrizia is going to further trigger, banish the strike to reborn the Diplos back onto the field. Nibiru in main phase 2. What the? Your own monster is unaffected by Nibiru. So we're not just unaffected by the opponent's card effects, also our own. Within the end phase, we're going to trap Trick. Lighthound. Negate the activation of the trap Trick. Lighthound does not require a Lunalight on the field. Does not care. Just a Lunalight fusion engraved to be activatable. We're going to Dancer. Wipe away the cards in the draw phase, because the Kentragina is only activatable during the main phase, so quick effect, toggle on, wipe it. Well done. Kentragina, when destroyed, reborn back the Thrizia, set into the back row an alert, which will not be activatable this turn. To battle we go, 2000 attack. And that's our main way to win this. Life point damage, because otherwise we can't kill this. It's unaffected by everything. How are we going to deal enough life point damage? Alert, flip up on the lethal attack. We're going to use the Silver Hound to negate the alert. We're going to use Intact to negate the negate. Negate. No negation, as alert reborns up to 2 bodies from the graveyard, a Thrizia and a Diplos. Now, Diplos is our win condition. How? Inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If we do that enough times, we win. I don't think we're going to be able to do that, though. Non-target. Wipe away the entire opposing field. Wipe it. Diplos and burn for 500. Set the alert. I think the Intact is going to be able to protect us, so the Diplos can reborn a monster back to block the attack. Can they infinitely loop Diplos for game? Dominus Impulse is going to negate the Thrizia effect of reborning. No reborn for you. Diplos will reborn instead. The Thrizia, 93. What? The Intact has an effect. Destroy that monster that you negated also. So it's not if you do, it doesn't say then, it says also. So it's not dependent on destroying the monster because it did not destroy the monster. And so also whenever you take damage this turn, the damage becomes half of your life points. Attack again. Half of the life points, 46. Half of my life points, 23. You can't beat us under the effect of Intact. Oh boy. How many more Diplos effects and we could win, right? Let's see. To battle, we have 2 attacks with the Liger Dancer. Attack number 1, alert, reborn, Kentragina, and attack. Wipe away the Kentrigina. Kentrigina trigger. Reborn Thrisia. Set the Brute. Intact, effect, banish. No damage from that battle. We're gonna run out of resources soon. Both of our intacts are banished. We probably have a third one somewhere in the deck, I would say. No, it's in the graveyard. So we have one more intact to protect us from battle damage. What happens after the third intact is banished? I think we're in trouble. Now there's a double Liger Dancer. Comms boy, do you have a win condition besides Diplos? No, I don't. Okay, thank you. All right. How do you stop Liger Dancer? You beat them before they summon it. That's honestly, unironically, the best answer. The mirror is spicy. Set 4, almost as good as set 5 pass. We have Strike to negate a special summon or monster effect, negate and destroy the Leo. That's pretty good. Intact when a monster effect is activated while we control a Dinomorphia card, we'd be able to negate. We have double intact, so double monster negates. This, you can only activate one per turn though. Well, do we control a Dinomorphia card? Yeah, while frenzies face up, the intact can negate an effect in response to the frenzy. Negate the Max C. So if we were to have Max Seed before they activated Frenzy, would they be able to intact negate Max C? No. So you have to know that ruling of what if they have a face down intact? That's why I should Max C before the main phase, or just initiate the main phase with the Max C before they activate Frenzy, but they would then chain Frenzy to Max C. So you want to draw phase or standby phase, the Max C. And if you have Ash, well, that sucks. They'll just negate the Ash. Come forth, Kentrigina. Kentrigina can copy the Frenzy. The Wolf is just activating to play itself on the field. It did not activate Diffuse. Now I have Rex Turn. How does Rex Turn work against the Liger? Well, very simply, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters they control that have attack greater than or equal to your life points. Well, this is affecting your opponent, not the card. The monster is not being affected of cannot activate. The opponent cannot activate the monster, but who cares? Draw 2. Fractal is going to send from the deck a Hound. Hound cannot negate counter traps, unfortunately. The Wolf is going to fuse with the graveyard. What? Dueling Saber Dancer. Dueling Saber Dancer states your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Well, and we could also affect it with the Rex Turn to reduce its attack. To battle we go. Damage step, by the way, reducing 3k to the face. Now, Liger, of course, would be unaffected by this. But the Kentrigina could almost become bigger than Liger. And then the Liger would not be able to activate to wipe out the Kentrigina. Call by the Grave, fingering the Stealthberg. What? Why? Oh, okay. Makes sense. Let's go to game 3. Fractal, send the Hound. Hound, summon from the deck into the Gold. Gold's gonna, this is super deadly, the Droll Knockbird. Droll's gonna turn off Tenki, and it's gonna stop the Martin. So no search for Martin, no search for Tenki. What now? I guess we normal summon Chick. Negate. Not really negate, but disallow. No adding. Now, we could still add a card from the deck to our hand, but we have to do it through a special way. We have to Chick send whatever we want from the deck to the graveyard, then Gold Leo could add from the graveyard back to the hand. Let's send from the deck the Lunalight Wolf, add the Wolf from the graveyard back to our hand. Martin's gonna return the Chick back, and let's now go activate the Wolf. Wolf is gonna be fusing it up. Saber Dancer again. Well, the Perfume Dancer can't search for the perfume. This simply just cannot be targeted by card effects. That's it. Can't be targeted. We have Impulse, which can negate the Frenzy. So we gotta be careful though. If we know they're playing Intact, Ash is not gonna be good against Frenzy because Intact will negate the Ash. So we have to Impulse, but if we play Impulse, they're gonna use Solemn freaking Judgment. Is this a checkmate? Hipster wins if he just summons Liger. Can we summon Liger? That's it. Frenzy. He used Ash instead of Impulse. Well, we have an out to both. Intact stops Ash. Solemn Judgment stops Impulse. Let's go. Send from the deck an extra deck going into the Kentrigina. Impulse cannot stop Kentrigina. Kentrigina is copying an effect to special summon. Her effect is not to special summon. Copying it to go into Rex turn. Rex turn can affect the Saber Dancer. We could reduce it. Gold Leo, and the Chick, discard Chick. Black Sheep will be searching for a Polymerization. Gold Leo is going to add the Black Sheep Engrave back to our hand here. Let's polymerize it up. Using with the hand and field into a Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer did not trigger to search for Perfume. Huh? Well, we can't because Rex turn. You can't even activate if your attack is equal to or higher than our life points. So Cross Sheep is not even activatable. Tiger is going to be reborning the Perfume. Little Knight's not activatable because of the Rex term. Beat them before they summon Liger. I guess Droll Knockbird was enough to beat them under the Droll. Huh? What? Pre-prep is dead. Pre-prep is a full one-card combo, but it's reliant on a Garnet. A Garnet is worse than a brick. A Garnet has to be in the deck in order to perform your play, and this is the Garnet. This has to be in the deck. If you don't have a way to throw it back in the deck, then you are screwed. And we didn't have a way to activate the mirror to summon the Futsu, so brick, five bricks. All 5 are bricks. Now, we do have Ghost Spell, and maybe the Crossout can negate something meaningful. Probably not, since it's not the same deck. Dormouse, add. We are going to discard the Impermanence, Alert Darkness, banish the Dormouse here. Dormouse come forth, back onto the field. Banish the deck, March Hare, we can go spell. Link off into Lingaribo. If I'm Hakimo, I'm assuming at least one of these backer cards are impermanents, right? It's not even a possibility that there isn't an imperm in the back row. So that's why we are focusing on keeping the Lingaribo on field. Pin down the impermanence that doesn't exist. We can't go into the PolyUSA anymore, but Access Code Talker is going to be the way. Do we want to reveal our back row cards to him, or do we surrender? Okay, that didn't really reveal much, but they're going to find out what we're playing if they pop one more card. Or not, just go for game. That's it. Lethal damage, and he has no idea what he's playing against. There we go. Let's go to game number 2. We have a better hand. Let's go, Paw to E. It's got to be the first play we do in the main phase. Within the draw phase to play around Droll Knockbird. Can't Droll. Photon Lord, sure. All right, not so bad. Murakumo is going to be able to wipe the field of monsters, plus force them to discard a card. We can also Magatama pop a card. We can negate anything with the Purification. We can negate a monster with the Galaxy Photon. About 5 forms of disruption. Not too crazy. Now, our 5 forms of disruption are still 5. I think we're actually reliant on the Futsu to reborn the Murakumo. Without the Futsu, we don't have a way to reborn the Murakumo back. The trap's not going to be able to use both effects. If we Ritual Summon, that's not going to work out. Yeah, so I think we're actually down to 3 disruption off of that. March Herod back. Chessie. Negate. Get the Murakumo Engrave. And as far as I know, we don't have a way to reborn it. Magatama can't summon it. The Purification is not a counter trap. Usually a trap Omni Negate is a counter, but the Lingaribo will be able to stop it. So because of that, we're going to get rid of the Lingaribo. Well, because we contribute the Futsu, Futsu comes back not negated, so we now gain back our other forms of disruption. Oh, Call with the Grave. No, you don't. It gets fingered. Purification, negate. But then we can negate the negate. No way, mate. Negate the purification. We got 0 disruption. We're done. The Habakiri will be able to come back out, though. But we're not going to be able to get the Murakumo. Let's return back the mirror. Let's tribute the Habakiri. Habakiri, search for the prayers. Reborn back. We're at 0 disruption. Marge Hare banishing the Chessie. All right, Hakumo, the ball's in your court. No disruption whatsoever. Reborn back. Let's further go into the Red Ransom. Red Ransom, grabbing the Mouse and Underground, banishing the deck. Mirror's going to banish the March Hare, searching for the White Rabbit. We already normal summoned. So what went bad? Well, I'm pretty sure we were supposed to banish a Dormouse in the deck. We didn't. So we banished the wrong card. Well, you have Max C, and they have no way to stop the Max C. Max C should be keeping Maliss in check. If we pass to Max C, we have Magnum Hunt and Impulse. Is that enough? Against pure Mitsurugi, that probably is enough. Well, at least draw 2. Now we have Ash. Ash, Impulse, Magnum Hunt. There we go. As I suspected, we don't want to further commit. Kusanagi, normal sun. Bro, what the heck? You keep drawing your Garnet. Dead. You can't activate this. This is full combo. It gives your deck additional 3 1-card combos, and it's nuts. But if you draw Mirror, it's dead. What are the chances of not once, but twice, you draw into your freaking Garnet, turning off your other pre-prep? So you not only have to calculate hard drawing into the Mirror, what are the chances of drawing a Mirror and at least drawing a pre-prep that's also going to be dead with the Mirror? And the Mirror, you also then have to factor the chance of drawing Mirror and not having a Ritual plus enough bodies to Ritual summon them with. That's another situation. Oh my Jesus. Dead. And because we summoned Kusanagi, Full Loss also became dead. I think we pretty much gave up, right? I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh gosh, pre-prep being freaking dead. Insane. Speed this up. Does this mean you should not play the pre-prep Mirror? It's still so good that you should play it in pure Mitsurugi. If we look at the tier list, let's see how prevalent the pre-prep way is. If we look at tournaments only, pre-prep is 100% played in tournament topping Mitsurugi, even with this Garnet situation. It's still good enough to play, but it happened to him twice. What the heck? That's crazy. Damn. Played 2 Mirror. 100% are playing just 1 Mirror. Now, if we take off tournament only, let's see, maybe it changed a little bit. With tournament only turned off, there's 14% not playing pre-prep, and 14, aligns. 14%. If you're not playing pre-prep, you don't play Mirror. If you play Mirror, you play pre-prep. Okay. Maxi in the draw phase. Search for the Ritual. And, search for the prayers, not Ritual here. We do have Thrust and Fusion. Thrust counters Ash because we could set the Fusion duplication to copy the branded Fusion next turn. Perfect. We're 1 less finger, but we have to be more creative in our outs to the hand trap. So just set the duplication, then next turn we're going to pop off. High Spirits, reveal Fool Loss to get the Rinbrum in Graveyard, which is quite insane. We're going to grab the Albion Shrouded. First we're going to Thrust. Prayers chaining to the Thrust. This ensures you can't add the card to the hand. If there's no body in the field, you got to set it into the back row. There we go. Probably what he was intending to do anyway. So we did pass on the effect to special summon the body back in the field. We lost out on that. We have Fusion Deployment off the top of the deck randomly. That was a really good rip. And now we're under the effect of Max freaking C. Reveal to go into Cartesia. The battle we go. We have the duplication in Cartesia during the opponent's turn. We're going to have some good plays. Let's see what this ends up going into. And we have Ritual. And we're going to chain Cartesia. Things could get quite crazy here. If we summon a Murakumo here, Murakumo will be the lower chain link to wipe away the field. And then you have to be the higher chain link, which we could then use the Murakumo to force you to have to discard to even resolve your effect. Kusanagi. We're going to add from the graveyard, add from the deck. Did not activate the Murakumo to wipe the field. We passed on it. And we're not activating the force them to discard. We're going to pass on that also. This one card in hand is going to be required to deal with the Murakumo, the negate effect. Serenir, send the Retribution here. Serenir, Retribution is going to add another card, so we're going to have further resilience against them, forcing us to discard. Saji, grab the Prayers. The Ritual is going to be met with the Duplication. Do we force them to discard? No. Copying Deployments. Because we don't have Branded Fusion, where is it? It's in our hand. Was that a mistake? That we pulled Branded Fusion out? Huh. Albaz instead, which now is going to have to discard the Branded Fusion, because if we discard one and they force us to then discard, we're going to have to discard both cards out of our hand. Now, Albaz into Mirror Jade, Fusion, Synchro, Caesar, Link. A lot of people replace this in their mind with a powerful monster. Murakumo is not going to be meeting the requirement for Mirror Jade. It does not say Ritual. We can't even go into a Mirror Jade off of the Albaz. Uh-oh. They're going for a field wipe. Albaz will discard. And we could force them to discard the Branded Fusion. So not only were we not able to copy the Branded Fusion, we have to discard it anyway. And we're not going into a Mirror Jade. This is unaffected. If you could get this big enough, this counters Lunalight Liger. Straight up. Gain attack equal to the combined levels of monsters used for its fusion summon, and for the rest of the turn, it is unaffected by Liger destroying this. So that's what you gotta do. Get it 38 or bigger, and then it can destroy. So a simple Branded Fusion into the Titanclad does counter Lunalight. At least one of them. Mitsurugi Mirror. In fact, it actually happened to me when I was playing. Some dude did it to me. Let's see if I can find that in the Discord. I think I did post about it. Oh, they did it to my Super Quantal, actually. It was, kind of like the same idea. So my Quantal could not affect this, and then he's bigger than my Quantal. What the heck? This is essentially my Liger. But can you get it bigger than Liger? Bigger than 37? Gold, Sark, banish from the deck here. We're going to want to Ash, save it for the Branded Fusion, not for the Mercurial Searching, of course. Libellion Searching. That's one of the freeing benefits of playing Branded, is knowing that all of your other cards are not ashable. They're not going to ash them. You can freely make all your plays because it's saved for the Branded Fusion. And the Branded Fusion, of course, they're going to Ash it, or Impulse. Impulse is very similar to the Ash. Now, Impulse for the rest of the duel is turning off our Light, Earth, and Wind monsters from being activatable. Book of Eclipse? We don't even have an Albaz in Graveyard? Damn, we went all in onto that Branded Fusion. Aramasa, Kusanagi, add back the Ritual. We're going to be having to play with the Serenir and the Eclipse here. A face-down monster could still be used for fusion or ritual summon. Saji, grab the Prayers, and let's ritual it up. Tribute off the Habakiri into the Murakumo. Will we be back? Yes, we're activating. Non-target wipe away the imposing field of monsters, where the Liger only destroys special summoned monsters. Habakiri into the Mirror. Mirror could reborn from the graveyard. We're going to be ready with the Eclipse. But actually, Eclipse does nothing here, because Ash will negate. Ash negate Eclipse mate, because the effect of during the end phase they get to draw is why it's going to simply get stopped. Prayers is going to be tributing in response to the Serenir trying to banish away the Futsu here. The Futsu was properly summoned, thus we could reborn it to dodge the effect of the Serenir. Reborn back the Murakumo. And let's mirror chain link block it from, let's say, an Ash Blossom or a Ghost Spell. Come forth. Reborn back. Serenir already used up. 6,600 damage. Well, it's not lethal, so I don't have to Eclipse. Fine with me. Let's further go into Dingirsu, forcing the activation of the Eclipse. If you activate it, I get to draw 3 cards during the end phase. You wouldn't even want to Eclipse. Just let it go to the grave. And now that we did not force them to Ash the Eclipse, which maybe they would not have even Ashed it, this is okay. We play 2 copies of the Brain Infusion. Also, Kit could add back a banished Brain Infusion. This does not mean death. Now, what we have to deal with is Ash on Brain Infusion, also the Purification. This negates the effect. We want it to negate the activation, so we would be able to activate the Brain Infusion again within the same turn. So we essentially, again, have 2 Ash-like effects for the Brain Infusion. We're going to have the effect to Reborn Murakumo to wipe the field and force the discard, and also banish with the Little Knight, about 5 disruption. Druiswarm preemptively banishing the Murakumo, which we now don't have access to Murakumo, so we lost 2 disruptions. Prayers in response to the Serenir trying to ban it, target the Kusanagi. We're going to be tributing off the in-hand Habakiri to Reborn back the Kusanagi. The Murakumo in hand is not going to be summonable this turn. Dodge the banish. Add back the prayers. Habakiri and Grave was not properly summoned, so it's just going to search and not reborn. Mirror. Okay. We have Ash, Purification, and Little Knight. That's it. Tribute for our Lubellion. Trigger the Druiswarm to send a monster on the field. We can trigger the Futsu to Reborn back the Habakiri that was properly summoned. Reborn it. Send it. This is where the TCG gets crazy. Like, one Habakiri's improperly summoned, the other's legally summoned. You then have to track which one was properly summoned. Purification is going to tribute the Habakiri to negate. Negate and destroy the Lubellion. Now from here, Alibur search for the Branded Fusion. But they have the Ash that was not used. And we didn't have a moment where we could Eclipse force the use of Ash. Ash negate Eclipse didn't happen, mate. Thus, our Branded Fusion gets negated back to back. And this is where Morpho realizes I might get too owed because of Ash. Now, it was Impulse and Ash. Back to back. Kusanagi in attack. Let's mirror. Is Serenir going to be good enough here? If we're holding the Serenir for the Murakumo, they could chain prayers to dodge the Serenir. So if we keep that mindset, we don't even need to. Oh, gosh. Damn. Wow. Unbelievable. 2-0ing Branded. Golem searching for the Wedju. We do have Nibiru. Now, our forms of disruption will be the ability to take control of a monster, negate anything. We can negate an extra deck monster. We can Ash negate. Do we have a Dingirsu in the graveyard? We do. We can non-target send a card from the field to the graveyard. We have 5 forms of disruption through a Nibiru. All right, 5. Yes, 5. I'm not missing anything. We don't have a way to get the Enlil and graveyard to be another form of disruption. Ash, negate the tracked mate. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. We do have a normal summon Crimson Tier. Haga is still scooping it. Omni negate, take control mate, Dingirsu, and negate an extra deck monster. That's too much. And then the same thing with Mitsurugi. You could play the Wusu. And if you're a mad lad, you could play both. You could play Wusu and Santa Claus, and then play Mitsurugi and Fiendsmith and have both of them be searchable. Well, you fool lost me, so I'm gonna do nothing. The Paradise does nothing. And we have absolutely nothing besides the Valor and Maxi. Valor on the Gersu is amazing. It's the best thing you could do. You do not Ash the Gersu. You could Ash the Harporer. You don't Ash the Gersu. Maxi into the freaking Ash. Oh my gosh, we're getting 2-0'd. What? Well, Maxi being one of the only good things against Orcust, getting negated. All right, that's how it be. Well done. And then the same thing with Snake Eye Fiendsmith was they get to use Droll on their own turn. If you Maxi or Fool Loss them, they could Droll it and then keep on making their plays. Now, apparently something happened with the top 16 where some players got top 16 and they had to go. I don't know if it's a daylight saving issue. We moved ahead an hour and maybe they had to go to sleep or they were feeling sick or some other obligation. So there are some people in the top cut we have not seen yet. They just auto advance to top 8. So let's do that right now. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. As we now advance into the top 8, we're going to be starting this off with Lunalight in the top 8. It's an auto win if they summon the Liger mate. And how do you stop it? Well, let's find out.